Hello everyone, so sorry about the technical glitch on Gill's live, which meant I couldn't actually join, which is such a pain because we practiced and everything yesterday, but these things happen. Gill did already introduce me, but I am Emily Gladwin. My business is Equisupple Animal Physio, and I did Gill's Bitting Consultancy Course in 2019. I am still studying to become an equine physio. It's been a long old slog, but it will be worth it in the end. And I have a degree from Hartpury in equestrian sports science. I did Gill's Bitting course because I really wanted another string to my bow, which it certainly is. And I'll run through a few questions or topics that Gill wanted to cover, but this is essentially a chance for me to tell anyone who's interested in doing the course essentially why you should, because it was great. Though from what Gill said, it sounds like it's actually going to be better than the one I did, so I mean, I'm not annoyed at all. So Gill's first question is, how has the bitting helped my business? And I think the first and probably the most important point is it's actually helped my confidence with other professionals. So the course that I did, I was alongside another physio, or Fliss is actually a chartered physio, so she does humans as well as horses and small animals. We also had a behaviouralist, Angela, who is a coach and trainer. She's classically trained as well. I know you were on the live too, Angela. Hello. So there was a real broad range of us all on the course, and having different opinions, different eyes, different knowledge, we could all bounce off each other. We could openly say what we were seeing, why we felt something was important or not, and we learned from each other. And just being in the room with different professionals makes you realise we are all human, and we do all want the same for the horse, which is we all want the best for the horse. So yeah, it really helped confidence in that sense. But also another way that it helped the business is, you're not, from a physio point of view, I'm not now just assessing the horse from a muscle and joint mobility. Yes, that is my job. I want all the soft tissue structures to be the best they can. I want them to be healthy. But I can now look at a ridden horse and think, oh, okay, what can I do to improve that more? We, as physios, as chiros, massage therapists, body workers, they'll see a sore back and they'll say, you need to talk to your saddler. So we're referring back to other professionals anyway, but why are we not saying, oh, have you thought about your bridle fit or your bit fit? Because the jaw is very, very tight. So I'm now piecing together more than what just the muscles are saying. I had a horse yesterday. The brachiocephalicus muscle is very tight. That's the muscle on the underside of the neck, responsible for moving the neck side to side and lifting the forelimbs. So this muscle is very tight at the base, towards the top of the legs. And I was like, okay, there's nothing else in this horse that's giving me an indication as to why the neck should be this tight. And I said, oh, can we just have a look at your bit and bridle fit? She hadn't booked a bitting consultation, but I felt that it was something that we possibly needed to address. And so she put it in, and I wasn't offended by the bridle. The bit, I mean, lovely bit, but when we put it in, the bit looked a little bit low. I'd say just one hole too low on the tongue, and the horse was trying to retract its tongue. It kept drawing its tongue back. I can see it wasn't able to do it fully, but it was a constant drawing it back. Then it tilted its head, then it stuck its neck out. And the owner said, oh, she actually does this when we're riding. And I just think, oh, okay, well, no wonder her neck is so tight now when we've got that twist and the tongue retraction constantly. So she's not happy in her mouth, and as a consequence, that's making her neck reactive. So yes, how has the bitting helped my business? It is another string to my bow. It's another tool in my toolbox. I'm one step closer to assessing the whole horse, and that's the gold standard. We need to be considering every aspect. Next question from Gill is, were you surprised at the level of training needed to give you the confidence to take it further? In short, yes. I pride myself on knowing what bits are, going back to pony club days. You've got the posters on the wall, you know all the bits. But the knowledge, like the name of the bit, that is just the tip of the iceberg. Obviously, I've had a head start on anatomy, on head and mouth anatomy with my degree and my physio background. But it's the dynamic application of the bit and bridle fit that really is the gold standard. And with Gill, we learn to assess the action of the bit in real time, how it moves in the mouth, how it moves when contact is applied, how it moves when the horse is evading the bit. And it was this training that added to the confidence, but it really did make you realise, wow, there is a lot here. And I know, and Gill mentioned in the live itself that it was initially 3 days over a weekend that we were training, and it was actually cut down to 2 because it was so intense. And I think and this isn't a bad reflection of the course at all, but we would actually leave with headaches every day because information overload. Gill also provided us with lots of business guidance. So we spoke about what stock we would need to hold to get us started, what sizes, what brands, just to really give us a good overview. How to write a bitting form, why a bitting form is important, where we take your customer details, we take your horse details, we write down about your current bit, we write down how your horse is going, and then what we changed. So sorry, loads of notifications coming through because the technology is now working. When on the video it did not. So yeah, we're talking about the forms that we needed, which is vital to give you a report at the end of the session, or to give your customer at the end of the session. So you've got in writing what happened, be it good or bad, what you saw, and you can refer back to it in the future. We spoke about insurance, which is vital for any business, and pricing, how to price your service. And Gill mentioned that she doesn't sell bits. I've taken that approach as well. I have not approached any retailers or bit brands to request to sell them because I'm not interested in flogging people a bit. I will help source them a bit. I'm on eBay and Facebook Marketplace constantly looking for bits, and I'm quite happy to source one for you, just to make sure that people get the right one that I've recommended. But no, don't actually sell bits. But most importantly, in terms of the level of training that's needed, Gill has actually provided all of us ongoing support, which has been so handy if we've had a tricky horse, or we've had a tricky rider, or a tricky owner, or a tricky coach. We've got a WhatsApp group of all the girls that were on the 2019 course, and we can write to each other and say, oh, this happened today, what do you recommend? And in come the responses and the help. So that ongoing support that you get from Gill, but also your fellow classmates, is just invaluable. And I have another question here. How valuable were the practical speakers? Well, invaluable. We had, the format of our course was we'd have theory one day and practical the next. We saw real horses, we had real riders that were doing a variety of disciplines. So it really was real life, and the horses' evasions that we saw were subtle, they were obvious, they were different. but it's really applicable to real world scenarios. And it gave us an opportunity as a learning cohort to pick a bit that, based on what we'd learnt, we thought was appropriate and apply it. And bless the ladies that actually came that volunteered themselves and their horses for our practical days, they tolerated many bit changes from us. But how perfect to have a play, trial and error, and just really put into practice in real time what we'd just been taught. I'd then go home and practice on my own horse to see, oh, okay, well, what am I feeling? Because it wasn't until I changed a few bits that I actually felt the negative changes, and I thought, oh God, okay, so when a rider says to me, I don't like it, he's now heavy in my hands, I get it. I so get it. And there is no shame in people giving you negative feedback, because you need that feedback loop to keep making improvements. And you can't make an improvements if the rider that you're talking to is not giving you honest feedback. And the fact that I had a chance to then play on my own horse, I was just really tuning in my feel and how I would describe that to if someone was giving a bitting consultation to me. So that was the practical sessions. The speakers, I've said, were invaluable. We had Rob Pascoe come and talk about dentistry and the implication that had on bitting. So it was really good to have his insight of mouth anatomy and how teeth are and how teeth grow and how teeth are supposed to look and how tongues are supposed to look. And he spoke about bitting injuries, and yeah, it was great. And I actually use Rob on my own horse now. I had him out just before Christmas, and he told me that my horse does not have any bitting injuries, which I said, oh God, I must tell Gill that. She will be delighted. So I mean, that's not to say my horse doesn't have bitting evasions, because he definitely does, and I'm constantly re-evaluating what I've got in his mouth. But it was just really nice to hear from that guest speaker that I'm doing okay. We also got an insight into the quantum bridle, which Gill is actually the co-creator of. So that was just fantastic, and hopefully that will be included on your course as well. In addition to the speakers, the other girls on the course were also fab.